Okay, good morning. We'll go ahead and get started. Deborah Donovan, Chair of the Data Governance Committee, present in the fourth floor boardroom in Jackson, Mississippi. This meeting of the Data Governance Committee is being held today, Thursday, July 22nd, 2021 at 9 a.m. pursuant to Mississippi Code annotated section 25415, with some committee members present via teleconference. The notice of this meeting, including the date, time, place, and purpose, has been posted, and an audio recording is being made of this meeting, and the minutes of the meeting will be recorded. I'm going to take a roll call. If you are present via teleconference, please state your city and state location. Alan Burrow.
Alan Burrow, present. Fourth floor boardroom, Jackson, Mississippi.
Melissa Biggs.
Present, fourth floor boardroom, Jackson, Mississippi.
Amy Brown. Lorinda Harrison. Jill Dent. Present. Tanette Smith. Chad Daniels. Scott Clements.
I'm present via teleconference at the Office of Child Nutrition in Jackson, Mississippi.
Dexter Brookins. Kristen Wynn. Monique Corley. Lee Johnson.
Jen Cornett present as a proxy.
Donna Hales. Brian McGarty. Sheila Franklin Bowie.
Present.
Shakina Patterson.
Present, fourth floor boardroom, Jackson, Mississippi.
Tammy Crosetti.
Present, fourth floor boardroom.
Robin Lamonis. Jen Cornett for Wendy Clemens proxy. Jackie Samsel.
Present, fourth floor boardroom.
Corey Murphy.
Present, fourth floor boardroom.
Chauncey Spears.
Present, calling from the detective's office in Jackson, Mississippi.
And Cerrito Donaldson.
Present, fourth floor boardroom, Jackson, Mississippi.
Okay, we do have quorum. All right, next we will entertain a motion for approval of the June 4th, 2021 minutes. Do I have a motion?
A motion to approve.
Second. Jackie Sampson.
Jackie. Thank you. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion carries. Next, I will have entertain a motion for the approval of today's agenda. Motion,
So moved.
a second?
Second.
All those, any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay, the first item up for discussion today is around the value proposition. I'll turn it over to Ms. Tina Mason.
Good morning. I do want to take this opportunity to share with the committee the results where we had surveyed the ELT and the Data Governance Committee back in April about the benefits of the data governance program for MDE. I'm going to read the value proposition, but I will point out again that it was in your backup material for today's meeting for your reference. The value proposition states, and I'm going to read this so I don't misquote it, by coordinating across program offices through the data governance program, the Mississippi Department of Education will develop a robust and common understanding of the data collected, reported, and used by the agency, and align effort to resolve critical data issues with the state board's strategic goals in order to achieve higher data quality and greater trust in the MDE's data. So I'll take this opportunity to say that this value proposition obviously supports the fact that MDE recognizes that the data and information it collects, analyzes, and reports are a valuable asset. And as we would do with any asset, in this case being data and information, it will need to be consistently managed. And so the management of that data will be accomplished through the collaboration of this committee, which is comprised of the representatives from across the agency. As the statement reflects, MDE will continue to move forward toward achieving accessible, usable, accurate data in order to resolve our data-related issues and to make those data-driven decisions by the committee.
Thank you, Tina. Any comments or discussion? Our next topic of discussion is an update on the work group for the State Board of Education Policy Manual Review. We formed a data impact work group around that work, so Tina Mason will also give an update on that work.
So speaking of collaboration, this work group, as Deborah has said, has been put together so that we can address any possible changes to the State Board of Education's policy manual that may impact data collection, and we're doing that to be proactive and to be prior to the submission of any of those changes to the policy. So this is actually a great example of how data governance program is stretching our minds and how we are thinking about data and how we are to manage that data to achieve our Mississippi Department's strategic goals. And this is ongoing. Some of the program offices have already met, and we have others that are still to come. So we will continue this work as the agency goes through the policy and updating its processes and procedures. So, and that'll continue through the first of the year.
Okay, thank you. And again, any discussion or questions about that work? Great. Next item on the agenda is an update on our change control board procedures from Cerrito, Donaldson.
As you have in your work packet, we have made the decision to bring in any changes for systems first to the change control board so that once it comes to the data governance board, you have a clear understanding of any data impacts and how it may influence or impact another program area. So we're trying to get all the questions answered beforehand before you make a decision.
Any questions about changes in that procedure? And it doesn't affect, this is a question, doesn't change how our data owners would submit change requests. This is just a change in the order of operations once it's received. Correct, thank you. Okay, the next item is an update on the data sharing agreement work group. These are data sharing agreements entered into with the MDE since the last meeting. We have executed agreements with Harvard University to evaluate Mississippi's performance-based licensure pilot. That's ongoing, and then we have 2 agreements with Questar for MAP and MAP-A administrations, and this involves the data that is shared between MDE and Questar in order to facilitate the administration of those assessments. Any questions or comments on this? Okay, the next item is to discuss a change order around work keys data collection. So I'll turn it over to Alan Burrow to discuss the change.
Okay, so we currently have a process in place to collect ACT assessment scores, so scores for English, reading, and math, which is used in the accountability model. And that is collected through MSIS in a data collection window in MSIS that was customized for the collection of ACT data. What we're proposing to do with the addition of ACT work keys to the accountability system is to add in an ACT work keys data collection functionality in that window in MSIS. So the intent is, first of all, we collect scores from ACT directly in regards to state contracted assessments. So right now, that's the junior year state assessment that is given to all juniors. We get those scores in, but schools and districts have the opportunity to enter in higher scores from other administrations. So if the student retest or if they test during their senior year, they can enter in a higher score. We don't right now have a process to collect that data directly from ACT, so we have to rely on schools and districts to give us that information. So the same thing is going to end up happening with ACT work keys. Right now we have a state contract with ACT to administer ACT work keys through a reimbursement program, and we'll get the data on those assessments. But if a student takes work keys in a different administration, different method outside of that state contract, we would not be able to collect that data. So this would give schools and districts the opportunity to enter higher score, higher certification. So right now we're just looking at whether or not a student gets ACT silver, gold, or platinum credentials on work keys. So this would give schools and districts the ability to enter that manually in MSIS. Otherwise, we would only be able to collect what comes directly from ACT through the state contract.
Is there a motion to approve this change order? Is there a second?
Get Jen Cornett / Wendy or Lee.
Is there any discussion? Questions?
I have a question. This is for the upcoming school year?
Yes, this would be for the 21-22 school year. So we'd be looking at collecting this data next summer. So, well, generally this happens in July. This screen
Becomes available in MSIS in July.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay, that's the end of our agenda for today, so I will entertain a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Jackie Sampson, motion to adjourn.
Thank you. A second?
Second. Cerrito.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you so much.